Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about the secret life of an element you probably think you know, silicon. But it's not just about our phones and computers. It's also a fundamental and, honestly, a really overlooked building block for our bodies.
Okay, so when I say silicon, your mind probably jumps straight to microchips, right? Silicon Valley, all that tech stuff. But what if I told you it's also a super crucial building block for you? Yeah, I'm talking about your bones, your skin, even your brain. And get this, it's not some rare, exotic element, not at all. In fact, silicon is the second most abundant element in the Earth's crust, right behind oxygen. It makes up more than a quarter of the planet's crust by mass, so it's literally everywhere.
So that leads to a pretty obvious question, doesn't it? If it's all around us, why aren't we just soaking up all its benefits 24/7? Well, this brings us to the central puzzle of silicon and our health, and it all comes down to one really important word: bioavailability. You see, most of the silicon out there, in rocks, in sand, even in a lot of our food, is in this form, silicon dioxide. You might know it as silica. The best way to think about it is like a locked treasure chest. All the good stuff is inside, but our bodies just can't open it. It's really poorly absorbed.
But every locked chest has a key, right? And for silicon, that key is this, orthosilicic acid. This is the water-soluble, bioavailable form that our bodies can actually absorb and put to work. This is the stuff that unlocks all of silicon's potential. So what happens once our body gets its hands on this usable silicon? Well, it gets to work. It acts like one of the body's master builders, supporting the very framework that holds us all together.
And its job is huge. Studies show that bioavailable silicon is absolutely essential for our bones, but it's also a powerhouse for stimulating type 1 collagen. You know, collagen. That's the main protein that gives structure to our skin, our hair, our nails, basically the whole shebang. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This isn't just a theory. This quote here is from a study where scientists literally watched it happen in the lab. They saw orthosilicic acid go into human bone and skin cells and just flip the on switch for making collagen. How cool is that?
But its job doesn't stop with building. Oh no. Bioavailable silicon also plays a critical protective role. Think of it as a silent guardian for some of our most vital systems, like our arteries and our brain.
Just take a look at this data. It's fascinating. Researchers looked at human aortas and found this striking pattern. Healthy aortas, packed with silicon. But as the arteries get more damaged, the silicon concentration just plummets. It really suggests that it's vital for keeping our arteries in good shape. Now, let's talk about the brain. Silicon also acts as a defender up there, and its main opponent is a well-known neurotoxin that's been linked to some nasty degenerative conditions: aluminum.
And the way it protects us is actually kind of genius in its simplicity. When you take in that good orthosilicic acid, it can meet up with aluminum in your gut. It basically grabs onto it and forms a totally new harmless compound. And here's the best part. This new molecule is insoluble, which means our body can't absorb it. Instead, it just gets safely flushed right out. Pretty neat way to lower your body's aluminum load.
Okay, so by now you're probably thinking, I get it, bioavailable silicon is important, so where do I find it? And that is the perfect question, because understanding the benefits is one thing, but making sure you're getting the right form, that's what really matters. So, where is the stuff? Well, while a lot of plant foods do have silicon, it's often locked up in those fibers. Remember the treasure chest? But some of the most direct and effective sources are actually liquids, like certain mineral waters, where the silicone is already dissolved and totally ready for your body to absorb. So how much should you look for in a water? Well, a really useful benchmark comes from China's national standard. It says a water source has to have at least 25 milligrams of methacrylate per liter. Now, that's just a fancy name for the form found in water that gives us the orthosilicic acid our bodies actually need. And if you look at the data for several popular brands, you'll see a lot of them comfortably clear that 25 milligram bar. Many of these waters, especially those from volcanic regions, are just naturally rich in this stuff, making them a fantastic dietary source. So look, if you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this. It is not about the total amount of silicon, it is all about the form of silicon. For your body to get any of these amazing health benefits, you have to seek out that bioavailable form. It all comes down to orthosilicic acid.
So, from building stronger bones to protecting your brain, it turns out bioavailable silicon is this powerful hidden player in our health. It's a thought worth considering, right? Maybe one of health's best kept secrets is hiding in plain sight, in a simple glass of water. Thanks so much for tuning in.